Why, hello there everyone, I'm Laxow, aka the Kuma Sensei. 皆さん、おはようございます。Nyonjong Nishado. And today we're going to be rehousing these OBTs. So these are the survivors here, from the exac that the mother ate, and I did try to salvage and save what I can, and the final counts for those who are wondering was 7. So there was 7 total survivors at the end. And I don't really plan on keeping any of these because I thought about it, just keeping 1 or 2, but as of now, I don't really plan on keeping any of these. And I do still have 1 female left because I sold my females off, except for 1. So I may breed her in the future, or I may just buy more slings for very cheap from another breeder. So I did make a promise to the person that gave me the male, and that promise was that if there was slings produced, I would give them a couple or a few slings in return. To me, honestly, since the numbers are very low and there is not much to begin with, I think it's only fitting for me to give these back. So I don't really plan on keeping any of these for those who are wondering, but we gotta rehouse these. And this video is going to be focusing on 2 things today, rehousing these OBT slings here, and then the second half of this video is going to be showing some Molt updates as the title suggests, and there are some awesome Molts that we gotta show, so stick around. Now let us get back into talking about some tarantula slings. So I don't really want to focus too much on tarantula breeding because like I stated everyone, the breeding season is technically over for me because I don't really like to breed tarantulas during the winter time because of things such as cold weather, lower humidity, and honestly it's not very ideal. So even though my room is technically warm during the winter because of the heaters and whatnot obviously, I still prefer breeding tarantulas when it's warmer, so like May, March, around that time-ish. So for those who are wondering about what I do during this time period when I'm not breeding and whatnot, usually I use this time to actually look at what I have and what I want to breed for next year, and also raising slings and maintenance. So it's very straightforward and very simple. I don't really want to do big things unless it comes time. So as of now, we're just pretty much looking at our agendas and just kind of evaluating on where I want to go and what I want to do. Now in the ideal world everyone, I would actually like to breed all of my females, but I'm a small tarantula breeder, I'm a local tarantula breeder, so my space, my resources, and what I can do and contribute is relatively small, so this is why I'm very picky about what I choose to breed everyone. And I also want to clarify on something that I think a lot of tarantula hobbyists has a misconception of, and that is that us tarantula breeders are not as big as what most people would think. It's surprising how when people think of tarantula breeders, the first thing that clicks to their head is like having a facility, hundreds of tarantulas and whatnot, but tarantula breeders are not really like that. The only tarantula breeders that are on that level are the ones that have been around forever, are well known, are established, and have the money and resources to do so. But for the majority of us tarantula breeders, we're usually just a bunch of hobbyists just like everybody else, but just a bit bigger. I guess that's the best way to put it. But anyhow though, that's enough sidetracking. So let us talk about my future plans. So for the next following couple to a few months, I'm just really going to be doing the typical maintenance, feeding, rehousing, etc. Not really focusing on breeding. And then once March comes back around, then we'll start planning out and getting ready to condition and to breed. Now I would like to expand and start reaching out into the Asian species such as the Sauropagopus and Ornithotognine, those type of tarantulas. So essentially my target is the southeastern tarantulas. And I would also like to reach out and try to do the Pamphobeteus genus more often, and probably the Xenasthus, but it really just depends. But let us wait and see for next year. But anyhow though, let us talk about this tarantula here for a second. So this is actually one of my 12 females of my curly hair tarantulas, and this is a captive bred tarantula that I hatched out in 2019 I believe. Yeah, 2019, that's what it was. And this is one of my other females that I recently molted out. So no, this is not the same female as the last one from 2 weeks ago. It's honestly very surprising at times when people think I'm showing the same specimen over and over again, but it's not that I have the same specimen. Is that I have a lot of specimens of the same species, so it kind of gets confusing at times. So I'm hoping that people don't get confused at times when I show tarantula specimens and I had to clarify that it's not the same one. And trust me, it gets very confusing at times. A lot of my viewers get confused, and even sometimes I get confused, which is honestly kind of strange to say. But if you have 12 specimens of the same species from the exact same egg sac, and they look similar, yeah, I think it's understandable why people will get confused at times. And I do want to state that I don't really have plans or any desires to breed curly hair tarantulas because I already made a video discussing about that. So for those who are wondering, my 12 females that I have are actually only pets only for me. I don't really use them as breeders. But on the topic of questions, recently I haven't really been getting questions, so I think that's a good thing because it means that I'm explaining things thoroughly enough, I guess. So, what do we talk about now? Since I pretty much answered everything. I guess we can talk a little bit about myself because I don't really talk about myself too much in my videos. So one thing some people may be curious about is my languages and why I use other languages for my introduction at times. And the reason why is because my father can speak 3 languages. My mother can speak 2. And for me, obviously, I'm bilingual, but I did actually try to study other languages as well during my college years because there was this international group study session online, which I volunteered to be in during my honors program, quote unquote, I guess you could say. And honestly, it was really nice talking to other people from different parts of the world and learning about their lifestyles, cultures, etc. Now let us get back into this video because I do want to talk about this balfouri real quick. So enough about me and back into the tarantulas. So this balfouri here is actually a late bloomer because I've already sold off his brothers to other tarantula breeders. So this guy matured out pretty much kind of behind everybody else. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am kind of tempted to breed my other females because I have this male. And this male here is a very dark blue. He's almost purple. Now, in terms of this guy's leg span, he's around 4 to 4.5 inches in leg span, which is honestly the size I prefer because balfouri mature males, man, I'll tell you, they can mature out either very small or very large. The smallest balfouri mature male I had was about 3.5 inches, and the largest one I had was about 5 inches, maybe 5.5 inches. A really big leggy dude. So this one here being 4 to 4.5 inches, I think is a relatively decent size. So I may actually use them for my other females, or I may just sell them, I don't know yet. Let us just wait and see, because as of now I don't really have any plans of breeding more balfouris than I need to. So let us move on. And now I'm going to show you guys my favorite tarantula of all time. Yes, the Poecilotheria ornata, also known as the Fringed ornamental tarantula, and this is actually my favorite species in the world. Well, my favorite species that is. It's kind of crazy how fast they're growing, which is typical of Poecilotherias, but I'm actually trying not to grow out my females too quickly because I really want to enjoy them as pets as well. I do have around 12, maybe 17 females, I lost count, but although I do plan on breeding those females, I also really want to enjoy them as pets as well, but they're growing so quickly I can't keep up. But anyhow though, I guess I'll call this a video for today. So, without further ado everyone, I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. As always, the typical like, comment, and subscribe, and stick around. I upload every single Tuesday and Friday. Also follow me on my IG, and support me on Patreon. And with that, stay lax, and Laxow out. From the Kumo Sensei.